Before the towers, before the Teslas, before the trillions, there was nothing but sand. And from that silence rose a mindset unlike anything the Western world could comprehend. Dubai. Today it's a symbol of excess, of Lamborghinis in school pickup lines, of gold-plated coffee and penthouses that kiss the sky. But if you think that's what built Dubai, you've already misunderstood the game. Because the real foundation wasn't oil, it was vision. Let's go back, not to the 90s, not even the 70s. Let's go 1,000 years back, to the heart of the desert, where tribes navigated nothingness with more than camels and courage. They had strategy. In the vast emptiness, trust wasn't a virtue, it was currency. Honor wasn't abstract, it was infrastructure. And your word? That was your wealth. You see, in this part of the world, wealth was never about cash. It was about control. Control of water, control of trade routes, control of time. That's why the earliest ancestors of today's billionaires weren't just pearl divers and spice merchants. They were information managers, social engineers, and power architects. They didn't think in years, they thought in generations. A young boy watching his father weigh pearls by lantern light. He isn't just learning trade, he's learning timing, trust, territory. That boy will one day own half of Sheikh Zayed Road. But his greatest inheritance won't be land. It'll be perspective. In the Western world, wealth often comes from disruption. In Dubai, wealth comes from continuity. Where America lionizes the rebel, Dubai worships the architect, the man who sees the storm coming and builds a fortress before the first drop hits the sand. That's why Dubai's richest men rarely go viral. They don't need fame. They need fortress economies. There's a reason you don't see them on podcasts. They don't speak in sound bites. They move in decades. This is society where the family is the firm, where the last name carries more weight than the first investment, and where loyalty isn't optional, it's engineered. So when oil was discovered, they didn't celebrate, they calculated. And while the West scrambled to extract, the rulers of Dubai saw beyond barrels. They knew oil was a season, but vision is climate. Oil, it was supposed to be the endgame. For many nations, it was. They struck black gold and stopped innovating. But Dubai? They treated oil like a launchpad, not a destination. The moment oil revenues surged in the 1970s, something unusual happened. Instead of sitting back and enjoying the riches, Dubai's leadership did something that defied logic. They asked, what happens after this runs out? That single question changed the trajectory of the entire nation, and it reshaped how billionaires would be made. While other countries nationalized and hoarded, Dubai globalized and modernized. They started pouring oil money into airports, data cables, and skyscrapers. They didn't build luxury first. They built infrastructure because they weren't trying to be rich. They were trying to become essential. Think about that. Most oil-rich nations created dependency. Dubai created attraction. They opened free zones with 100% foreign ownership. They eliminated income tax. They built the most efficient airline in the world, not to travel, but to connect capital. And suddenly, what was once a forgotten strip of desert became the most valuable bridge between East and West. But here's what most people still don't see. This wasn't just urban planning. It was psychological warfare. Every skyscraper was a signal. Every luxury mall was a magnet. Every regulation tweak, a coded message to global investors. Bring your ideas. Bring your capital. We've already made it easy for you to win. A French startup founder walking through Dubai Internet City in 2006. He's just relocated. Why? Because Dubai made it irresistible. No red tape, no taxes, no inflation drama. And better yet, he's surrounded by ambition, not excuses. That's not coincidence. That's curated capitalism. And while the world mocked Dubai as a playground for the wealthy quietly moved their headquarters, families, and assets into this playground. Why? Because playgrounds are safe, and Dubai's billionaires had made it the safest place to bet on the future. From oil to algorithms, from fossil fuels to frictionless finance. Today, the richest in Dubai don't drill into the ground. They drill into data, AI, Web3, and global logistics. They're not building more oil rigs. They're building tokenized real estate, AI-powered legal systems, and virtual embassies. Their wealth isn't buried. It's distributed, and it's spreading fast. Because while the West asked, how do we protect our legacy industries? Dubai asked, how do we become the platform the future needs? That's not oil thinking. That's empire engineering. You can copy someone's business. You can mimic their investments. But if you don't share their belief system, you'll never match their outcomes. This is where Dubai billionaires create separation. Not in dollars, in decisions. Because at the core of every fortune here is a mental framework the Western world can't fully decode. Let's break it down. First, time. Western entrepreneurs ask, what's my exit? Dubai billionaires ask, what will my great-grandchildren inherit? They think in dynasties, not decades. In impact, not income. That's why their family offices aren't just trusts. They're multi-generational power grids with capital, culture, and control embedded into every branch. Second, risk. You'd think coming from a region of political volatility and resource scarcity would make them cautious. But it's the opposite, because they've been trained to survive chaos, to plan inside uncertainty, to operate where the rules change mid-game. To them, risk isn't dangerous. It's inevitable and therefore neutral. The key is not to avoid it. The key is to design for it. Third, faith. In Western boardrooms, religion is taboo. In Dubai, it's central. Islam teaches that wealth is a responsibility, that money is a trust, not a trophy. That's why many Dubai billionaires fund charities, build mosques, support education, and forgive debts. Not for branding. For Baraka, divine blessing through righteous action. But don't be fooled. This doesn't make them soft. It makes them anchored. In a world obsessed with ROI, they're obsessed with alignment. Their businesses must benefit community. Their investments must respect creation. Their profits must fuel purpose. That's the billionaire belief system here. Fourth, family. In the West, wealth fragments. In Dubai, it fortifies. You don't cash out. You bring your bloodline in. Cousins become co-founders. Siblings run subsidiaries. Uncles manage offshore trusts. Aunties vet political alliances. It's not nepotism. It's dynasty architecture. A luxury villa in Jumeirah. 3 generations gathered around dates and tea. Grandfather discusses real estate in Egypt. The son is building an AI startup. The grandson learning governance at age 10. This isn't dinner. This is a board meeting disguised as family bonding. Finally, identity. In most places, people use wealth to escape their culture. In Dubai, wealth is used to amplify it. Traditional dress at billion-dollar conferences. Prayer breaks during global negotiations. Arabic poems quoted during M&A deals. They're not becoming like the West. They're reminding the world who they've always been, just with better infrastructure. While the West argues on stage, Dubai billionaires move behind the curtain. They don't rant. They don't rally. They restructure reality in silence. Because for them, power isn't in headlines. It's in head starts. Let's look at the board. In Africa, they're not just funding roads. They're owning ports. In Europe, they're not buying art. They're buying banks that fund the galleries. In America, they don't need influence. They invest in the platforms that shape influence. Media tech, surveillance tools, Web3 infrastructure. You won't see their names on billboards, but they sit on the boards that decide which billboards get seen. This is the new empire playbook. Own the access points, not the attention span. Dubai billionaires understand something many in the West forgot. Control doesn't require visibility. It requires leverage, and leverage is silent. An abandoned airport in Central Africa. A Dubai sovereign fund steps in, rebuilds it, modernizes it, controls 40 years of landing rights in exchange for 10 years of peacekeeping and infrastructure. They don't just invest in returns. They engineer relevance. Their loyalty isn't to countries. It's to corridors, trade routes, energy flows, data cables, while Western powers defend borders. Dubai billionaires expand through connectivity. They've mastered what's coming next, the borderless era. And here's the twist. They do it without imperialism. No invasions, no coups, no debt traps. They offer trust where others offer terms. Speed where others give bureaucracy. Discretion where others give demands. And that's why nations say yes. In return, Dubai gains access to rare minerals, control over regional airspace, preferential digital trade agreements, and soft power with no expiration date. That's not investment. That's invisible architecture. Back home, these moves are never bragged about. You won't see a royal on Twitter boasting about logistics wins, because their goal isn't to look powerful. It's to be undeniable. They don't chase headlines. They author futures. Now look at this. While the West talks about diversification, Dubai billionaires are implementing it. They're in real estate, yes, but also fintech, clean energy, esports, digital identity, and virtual cities. When America debates whether AI is ethical, Dubai builds an AI university. When Europe fights over immigration, Dubai imports the top 1% of talent with tax-free packages, beachfront housing, and zero noise. They don't ask for permission. They offer a better option. And in a world tired of noise, they win with efficiency. What if I told you every tower, every yacht, every golden supercar you see in Dubai wasn't built for comfort, it was built for influence? Because in this city, luxury isn't an indulgence, it's a weapon. Dubai billionaires understand a timeless truth. People don't follow logic, they follow perception. So while others argue about credibility, Dubai designs it. Look at the skyline, Burj Khalifa, Palm Jumeirah, the Museum of the Future. None of them are financially practical. They are psychologically strategic. They make you feel small, awed, intrigued, and most importantly, they make you ask, who built this? That's the point. A conference room with gold leaf ceilings and AI facial scanners at the door. A crypto summit is about to begin. The message? This isn't just about innovation. It's about dominance visualized. In Dubai, even silence is staged. Luxury here doesn't scream. It radiates. A billionaire arrives in a G-Wagon wrapped in matte desert camo, flanked by a security detail that never speaks. He says nothing, but everyone listens. Why? Because perception has already spoken. And when it comes to media, Dubai's elites don't beg for attention. They buy the stage, sponsoring global events, Formula One races, UFC title fights, not for entertainment, but for narrative control. You think it's just branding? It's identity reinforcement. They're not just hosting the future. They're curating who gets to enter it. Western billionaires chase viral clips. Dubai billionaires engineer visual permanence. A thumbnail lasts a second. A skyline lasts a century. Even their failures are beautiful. Real estate bubbles, they turn them into museums. Cancelled mega projects, rebranded as cultural zones. There's no scandal, only reframing. They don't spin stories. They pre-build the stage before the story begins. And behind the luxury, layers of calculated trust building. The city runs on surveillance, not to control people, but to assure the elite that everything is under control. Digital ID systems, facial recognition, smart city tech. It's not Big Brother, it's billionaire comfort design. Because the more secure your environment, the bolder your bets. And here's the twist. While the world accuses Dubai of excess, those who understand know the truth. Beauty is utility. A marble lobby might win a $10 billion contract. A skyline silhouette might attract $2 billion in capital flow. Perception, when done precisely, becomes leverage. Now that we've walked through the dunes, looked behind the glass towers, and traced the fingerprints of empires in silence, it's time to decode the pattern. Because behind every billion-dollar move is a principle, a law. And here are the 7 that shape the Dubai billionaires' rise, whether they're in oil, AI, or metaverse real estate. Law 1. Build before the boom. Dubai billionaires don't wait for certainty. They architect it. When others hesitate, they invest in infrastructure, knowing that whoever lays the pipes owns the flow. Law 2. Visibility is leverage. Western elites hide their wealth. Dubai displays it, not for ego, but for gravity. A $2 million watch isn't a timepiece. It's proof of access. A luxury tower isn't shelter. It's a signal that says, you're in my orbit now. Law 3. Loyalty over liquidity. Relationships aren't tools. They're infrastructure. They'll walk away from a $1 billion deal to protect a handshake forged 2 decades ago, because loyalty compounds faster than capital. Law 4. Think in dynasties. They don't ask, how much can I earn this year? They ask, what will my descendants control 200 years from now? That's why their investments span continents, and their family trees look like organizational charts. Law 5. Control the environment. They don't adapt to the system. They design the system. Whether it's free zone policy, digital ID frameworks, or real estate law, they influence the blueprint, then invite the world to build inside it. Law 6. Integrate faith with finance. In Dubai, Islam isn't separate from strategy. It teaches stewardship, balance, respect. Their investments must serve community. Their growth must leave others whole, not broken. That's not idealism. It's sustainability with soul. Law 7. Act local. Scale global. They master their roots, then export their models, values, and networks across borders. They don't need to dominate the world. They just need the world to depend on them. So what can you take from all this? Maybe you're not in Dubai. Maybe you don't wear a thobe or drive a McLaren through the marina. But this mindset, it isn't geographic. It's strategic. You can think longer, move quieter, build trust deeper, and design systems, not just income. Dubai didn't happen by accident. It happened because a group of builders believed the desert wasn't a limitation. It was a blank slate, and they didn't just sketch visions. They built them in glass, gold, and gravity. This is the Billionaire Mindset. Episode 1, Dubai. In the next chapter, we head west to explore the wealth warriors of Nigeria, where audacity, chaos, and genius collide.